Well, good evening and thank you for tuning in to NBC 10 and Fox 14. I'm meteorologist Brian Briggs, and tracking Hurricane Delta, at least still holding at hurricane strength at this time frame here. And we're just going to kind of walk you all through what exactly is going on across the arc limits this evening as heavy rain and wind are starting to move into our area. So we're going to talk about what's going on across our area here probably for the next few minutes or so. We will be doing these cut-ins at the top of the hour generally from now until much of the impacts are out of our area. So make sure you're staying updated with the latest information as the system continues to move through. We'll also continue to keep you updated online on social media as well as we start to get more of the data coming in as the storm moves through our area. So I want to run you through at least what we have right now as far as current stats on Hurricane Delta here. This is our infrared satellite imagery, and you can see generally that cloud tops are warming here. Those brighter colors that you see, especially earlier on in the system's life cycle, are starting to not become so bright, and that generally indicates that these cloud tops are warming, which overall indicates that the storm is weakening. So it's taking on some very interesting structures here, as it really does not look like much of a tropical system anymore. But with that being said, National Hurricane Center, at least per the 10 o'clock advisory, still has this system at a low-end hurricane strength, at least a Category 1 hurricane. So as it continues to move through our area, we are seeing it generally bringing rain and wind now. And I know some folks have been wondering where exactly it's going to be going here. Looks like the National Hurricane Center at least still has it as a low-end tropical storm by the time it gets virtually out of our area here. And it should be done by the time we get into mainly the second half of our Saturday here. That means both rain and wind should be out of our area by then. So till then, though, it's pretty rainy, pretty breezy across the arc limits, especially across southern portions of our area. This is sustained winds. I want to show you this here. And generally across, looks like Wynn, LaSalle, Catahoula, and Concordia parishes, we're seeing sustained winds anywhere from about 25 to close to 30 miles per hour at times. Generally along the I-20 corridor, we're seeing anywhere from about 14 miles per hour, and Ruston generally up to now 25 miles per hour here in Monroe, 23 miles per hour in Vicksburg. Go a little bit further up into southern Arkansas, and those folks not seeing the stronger winds at least now, but we're seeing anywhere from about 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds. Now, that's not counting the gusts that we have across the area. It is a little bit gustier than this, but the stronger winds at least still off towards the south and west with this system here. But we're starting to see these winds coming down in Lake Charles, which is one of the areas that have been dealing with at least the preliminary effects of Delta as it moved through here. And now as it gets closer to our area, we're starting to see those winds subsiding. Still a chunk, though, of the strongest winds. I want to say the strongest winds of the night still off to our south and west generally here. But as we go through the next few hours, that's when the winds will come up in intensity a little bit. Here's the thing, though. As Delta continues to rapidly weaken, we should see these winds generally staying close to where they're at now, even though we will see them kind of spiking up a little bit here. So this is sustained winds. I want to show you some of the wind gusts. Also starting to see those wind gusts coming down across portions of southern Louisiana at this time. And we're seeing wind gusts of about 31 miles per hour here in the Twin Cities. So again, that's just below tropical storm strength status. 39 mile per hour winds are generally associated with tropical storm force winds. So maybe seeing some of those higher wind gusts across our southern parishes. But generally, we're seeing winds that are manageable, at least for the time being. So, and we've been talking about this system really weakening the last couple days or so, and it looks like, especially with the shear and dry air in place, really has helped to keep a lid on Delta's full potential as it moves through our area. But nonetheless, still seeing some strong wind gusts at times, especially across our southern parishes. And these folks generally along and south of the I-20 corridor will have that best potential to see some of those tropical storm force winds, and maybe especially across our southernmost parishes could maybe see a brief hurricane force wind gust. But I would not expect to see sustained winds anything higher than 35 miles per hour across our area. So, and I know folks have been hearing that rain falling through much of the day today. The winds have been coming up the last few hours or so. And again, if you're just tuning in right now, you're seeing that mainly our strongest wind gusts are focused across our southernmost parishes, which again includes Grant, Wynn, LaSalle, Caldwell. Looks like even portions of Franklin, Tensas, Catahoula, and Concordia parishes. That's where some of the gustier winds are at times. Starting to get close to that I-20 corridor, and I know a lot of folks are starting to hear their windows rattle as the winds get closer north. So, and southern Arkansas, though, you're noticing gusts not terribly high, at least right now. We're seeing 19 miles per hour in El Dorado as they're starting to get a little bit more wind in that direction, but generally it's staying tame right now. But the biggest issue, at least in the short term before those winds really start to get going here, is the heavy rainfall. And here's our live storm tracker Doppler radar here showing that we do have expansive flash flood warnings across our southern parishes at this time. And again, that includes Wynn, Grant, LaSalle, Caldwell, Catahoula, and Concordia parishes. These are in effect until 3:15 in the morning as we head into Saturday morning. So folks wondering what to do from now. Well, we're just gotta have to wait and ride this storm out as it moves through our area. And again, want to emphasize that it is weakening rapidly as it moves through our area. So this is very, very good news. Still seeing those impacts though, especially in the form of very heavy rainfall. I know we've had some saturated soils too, so those winds are not going to be great to maybe loosen up some of those trees, and that's going to be the biggest issue. That's where we're going to be dealing with tonight, is mainly some sporadic tree damage as those winds come through and maybe knock some of those trees down, knock some power out. So again, we're going to continue to keep you updated through the latest as this system continues to move through our area. I'm just going to step off the screen real quickly and see if anything's coming through. I know that we are starting to get some power outage reports across our area, at least at this time, and generally spanning closer to the Caldwell Parish area. Seems like we're getting some power reports there. Looks like 1,300 customers are out of power in Caldwell Parish. Looks like close to 2,000 customers now out of power in Wynn Parish. Looks like Grant, just about 50 people, and LaSalle, about 200. So at least we are seeing some sporadic power outages across the area. They're staying relatively in check for the moment. But again, as these winds move through, could maybe see a few more added to this list as the winds start to pick up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to send you back to your regularly scheduled programming, at least for now. As mentioned at the top of the hour, we're going to be cutting in at the top of the hour for the next few hours or so until much of the hazards have moved through our area. So stay tuned to NBC 10 and Fox 14. Next cut-in will be at 12, or I should say midnight tonight. That's when we'll have another on-air update, at least for you. If you want more updated stuff, we have that on our website, myarclemis.com. We'll also be sharing updates on social media and just keeping an eye on reports of damage, power outages, and wind, as well as rain totals as Delta continues to move through our area. Make sure you're staying safe, stay at home. You don't need to be on the roadways tonight, especially if you can help it with the rain and the wind that we have across our area. And just make sure you're staying safe as Delta moves through. We will see you at the midnight hour. Thank you for tuning in.